So a lot of the things, for instance, that occupy our interest, our fascination in day-to-day life are almost certainly evolutionary accidents. The three of the main preoccupations of humans are pornography, television, and chocolate. But if I ask you, why do you like porn? And you say, because my ancestors who liked porn reproduced more than those who didn't. It's not true. Rather, you like porn, assuming you do, as an accident. You have evolved, for instance, should you be a heterosexual male, you have evolved to be attracted to women. That is most likely to be an evolutionary adaptation, because being attracted to women and wanting to have sex with women is one step to the road to having kids, which is very good from an evolutionary perspective. It so happens, though, in our modern environment that people have created images that substitute. So instead of actually going out and seeking out women, you could just surf the web for hours and hours and watch dirty movies and read dirty books. Evolutionary adaptive dead ends. They're accidents. Why do you like chocolate bars, assuming that you do? It is not because your ancestors in the African savannah who enjoyed chocolate bars reproduced more than those who didn't. Rather, it is because we've evolved a taste for sweet things. And we've evolved a taste for sweet things in part because the sweet things in our natural environment, like fruit, were good for us. In the modern world, we have created things like chocolate, which are not so good for us, but we eat anyway. A lot of the debates, there's a lot of controversy in psychology over the scope of evolutionary explanations. And a lot of the debate tends to be over what's an adaptation and what isn't. There are some clear cases. We have color vision. Why do we have color vision? Well, I think everybody would agree we have color vision as an adaptation because of the advantages it gives us for seeing and making visual distinctions. We are afraid of snakes. We're going to talk about that in more detail, but there's a straightforward adaptive story about that. We are afraid of snakes because really our ancestors who weren't afraid of snakes didn't reproduce as much as those that were. We like chocolate bars, and we enjoy NASCAR. Those cannot be adaptations because chocolate bars and NASCAR are recent developments that could not have been anticipated by evolution. Those are easy questions. Here are some hard questions. Music. Everywhere in the world, people like music. Is this an adaptation for some selective advantage, or is it an accident? Steven Pinker, who wrote The Language Instinct that you read before, caused a huge amount of controversy when he argued that music is just an evolutionary accident. He described it as auditory cheesecake, something we like to gorge ourselves on that has no adaptive advantage. Other people argue music does have an adaptive advantage. Sometimes males use violence to coerce sex. Is male sexual violence a biological adaptation, or is it an accident? There's more than one language. Is that just an accidental byproduct of the way language works, or is there some sort of group or selectionist advantage sketched out in some way of having multiple languages? What about visual art? What about fiction? What about our love for stories? Those are all matters of heated debate. And so we have to keep in mind some things plainly are accidents. Some things almost certainly aren't accidents. Where the action is in the study of psychology and the study of evolution of cognition is trying to figure out which is which.